Mad at the World. Welcome back. Episode 8. Your boy's a little saucy right now. Poppy is a little saucy. I hung out with an old friend of mine. He's going through some relationship problems. And I was given, some insight on what I think he should do, which is always the same for any person or any of my friends going through a relationship problem. Break up. Let it go. Just break up. Yeah, but I love her. Break up. But I don't want you guys to think that I don't love love. I love love. But it comes to a certain point when you're in a toxic relationship for a few years that you just have to let go. And this is one of those type of situations. Normally, if it was a regular relationship, I'd be like, work it out. You were wrong, blah, blah, blah. I've heard this a few times already, the same story. Break up. Listen, when a relationship gets to the point like the way that OnlyFans chick who murdered her boyfriend in Midtown Miami, that's the worst case scenario, right? They were only together 2 years, but they have a history to the point where the condo was going to kick them out, like evict them from that condo. That's how much they were fighting. They even have that video of them in the elevator, her just knocking him like she's like Jay-Z's, Beyonce's sister. When it gets to that point, like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You have to let it go, or else things like that happen. I'm sure, maybe I'm not sure, but I don't think she meant to kill him. I'm sure she regrets it now, right? Obviously, but that's the worst case scenario, man. So whenever people are just in a toxic relationship, I always just say that, just break up. Yeah, but she has kids that I, love now. I've been together fucking 5-6 years. Break up. Kids don't need you. You're not their real daddy. You're not their real daddy. Leave. Okay? It's not going to end well. But anyways, your boy's a little saucy right now. So that could either make the podcast really extra real or have me rambling, talking nonsense. I'm going to try to focus in on the first one. Okay? I had a good week. How was yours? Was your week good? Was it okay? Okay, cool. My week was great. I had a really great week, money-wise. I had a new job or started at a new office. Yes, I work. I work in phone sales. A lot of people think I deal drugs. I don't. Go fuck yourself. I may look like I do, but I don't. People think I do because I do comedy all the time at night, and I worked from home for a long time after the pandemic. But no, I don't sell drugs. Thank you, though, for thinking that. And if I did sell drugs, you know what I'd sell? I'd fucking sell Plan Bs. All right? How about that? I'd sell Plan Bs so that it could just piss the government off and not create any more dumb people in the world. That's what I'd sell if I was a drug dealer. Honestly. Plan B Dean. Call me for the hookup. But I had a good week. Made a little money. August, I cannot complain. It's winding down now, and I cannot complain. It's very, very good birthday month. What else? I had another good show at the SLS Hotel in Brickell, which they have a comedy room, a lounge there that they allow us to do comedy on Wednesdays. We don't deserve this. I mean, this is one of those type of hotels where the valet guys make more money than the comics, right? But they actually have a good budget. And you know what? I'm going to start it off like this. I'm going to start it off with the comedy gem that I do every episode, because there was a guy on the lineup. He went first. I didn't book him. I don't necessarily think he's good, but he's been doing this for like 10 years and he's a friend of the promoter, whatever. I'm just there to host. I kill, of course, Poppy kills, right? Of course, Poppy does his thing and lets the crowd have it. They're nice and warm. Bring up this first guy. He goes to tell a couple jokes, get a couple chuckles. Not really doing great, but whatever. The 8th minute, I light him. Time to go. Once for those who don't do comedy, once you get a light from the back of the room, you have one more joke, 1 more minute, 2 more minutes, whatever you agree upon before with the host or your time. he runs the light. He sees it and continues to do 4 more minutes of not even comedy, of just a political rant without any jokes or punchlines at the end. How do I know he doesn't have any punches or jokes at the end? Because he specifically said, this is just a good statement. This isn't really a joke. And of course it was about Florida and DeSantis. This guy's from Ohio or some shit. And he goes on to piss off one of the audience members who I did crowd work with in the beginning of my set, who's a older white gentleman actor from LA. And because he talks about COVID and how it was fake or whatever his dumb political opinion is. And the guy was like, I almost died from COVID. The audience member goes. And then this fucking guy goes, yeah, so what? You didn't, so stop being a pussy. The rest is fuck California. It needs to be like, no joke, no nothing, just a rant. Made the whole room awkward. The audience member gets up and walks out. He continues to berate the fucking guy walking out. Yeah, go, just leave. Whatever. You don't deserve Florida rights and freedom. All right, good night, everyone. Good night. Good night. I want to say this guy's name. He's not a friend of mine, especially not after that. He's just an acquaintance from out of town who's in town every so often, but I'm not going to say his name. But let this be a comedy gem for you guys, you comics. 3 years under. He has no excuse. He's 10 years in. He already knows. And it was very irresponsible of him to go ahead and do that to the audience member in front of the managers of the joint, of a place that we don't even really deserve in the first place, and to trash him like that, right? But if you're under 3 years, let this be a lesson to you. You could be upset, angry, sad, tell your political rants. Just make it entertaining for the people watching. That's it. That's the secret. Put some good tags. Make it smart. Make it a joke. It doesn't even have to be smart. You can end it with, yeah, I think COVID was fake. Look at my dick. It could be something stupid like that. Just make sure it's not a fucking rant. We don't give a shit. We're not there for that. But there is a happy ending to this story. Because Poppy is such a good host, and if you haven't seen me yet, go see me. I'm not just fucking tooting my own goddamn horn over here. I continue on with the show. I get them kind of like back, right after that. But I introduced the next comedian. She did well. Then I introduced my boy Grant, this Napoleon Dynamite looking fucking comic. And he does well, very well. He kills it actually. Then I bring up Chris, and during the headliners segment of it, the guy or the audience member comes back. He left before, and then he came back up the elevator and hung out at the bar. I see him. I go up to him. I'm like, hey, sir, sorry for what happened. What's your name? And he's like, oh, no, don't worry about it, man. I don't care. My name's Alan. Older gentleman, white hair, slick back. He's an actor from L.A. He was in Shameless or some shit. Anyways, I said, all right, Alan, you're in town for the birth of your grandson, right? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, what's his name? He says, Leon, right? I said, all right, watch this. My boy Ricky Cruz headline, killed it, lit him, he got off. I went back on stage, and I proceeded to call up Alan to the stage. Crowd goes nuts, and I dedicate the show to him and his new grandson, Leon, in front of the managers of the SLS. Your boy's a pro. Poppy is a pro. Come out and see him, all right? Should have got a fucking standing ovation for the way that I saved the show and put a nice bow on it. Not only did... obviously the other comedians helped save the show, but I put the bow on it. Huh? I fucking tied that bow like it was fucking Secret Santa Or if you're Jewish, Mystery Moses. Put that bow on it. But let that be a lesson to you, man. To you new comics. That was ridiculous what that guy did. Honestly, I told the promoter, hey, man, you got to ban this guy. I know he's your friend. I know he got you some gigs in wherever he's fucking from, Dakota or whatever fuck. But you got to ban him from Miami comedy because we can't have that. We can't, especially if you're a veteran like that. Veteran, I use that word very loosely. And I've seen him before, and he hasn't done all that great before anyways. But he's always kind of seemed like a nice guy, right? And don't get me wrong, I love white on white crime because that comic is white too. I love white on white crime mainly because no one gets hurt. The worst that can happen is they go to litigation about some bullshit, feelings hurt or some shit. But not at a room that we're trying to like conserve, man. That shit was out of line. But whatever. It was a great show, and all's well that ends well. I actually really love that SLS room, and I hope it doesn't go away anytime soon. Yeah, and they pay very well too. I actually got paid a little more than the valet this time. Hey, I did the Dana Improv New Faces, the first New Faces I ever did, only because I went over there to record as I usually do in Miami, New Faces at the Improv there. But there's another comic who produces the show, a veteran comedian who takes care of it there, which I didn't know. So I went over there and I saw him setting up the camera, and I'm like, hey, wait, you setting up the camera too, or for yourself, or you do this for everyone? He's like, yeah, I do this. I produce a show, so I record it and I sell it to them. And I'm like, oh, so you do what I do in Miami. Okay. So I'm stepping on your toes here, right? He's like, yeah, kind of. But, you know, you could get a spot if you want. So, you know, just so I didn't drive over there for nothing, I went up first. And, you know how your boy does, especially at New Faces. I don't like going up first at New Faces, mainly because there's a lot of new comics there. A lot of them doing it for the first time in front of their mom, their dad, their friends, co-workers. And if you put someone experienced on first, it could jeopardize the rest of the show because I know what I'm doing, and then other people go on after who don't know what they're doing. But this crowd was very nice. Not only that, half of the lineup didn't show up because I saw the flyer of New Faces. It was like 19 people. The first thing I thought when I saw that was cha-ching. You know, because I record it and then I sell it for like 25. Beautiful video, beautiful tape, and a lot of takers. It's always usually a big money night for me. And you make people happy with their tape for the first time they're doing comedy, blah, blah, blah. So I went, because I saw it was like 19 people on the flyer on New Faces, which is insane. But then I showed up and there was only like 8. So either way, I was like, whatever. So I did the spot, and 3 of them, the New Faces, were actually comedians that I know for a few years. So it was real comedians or seasoned comedians, if you will, and like 5 New Faces, you know, fully fresh. And it was actually a good show, man. It was actually a good show, and I'm happy I went up first. I opened them up. I cracked them open, and they had a good time. I had a good time. Every time I do a show at the Improv, no matter what, it's a good time. But this one specifically because it was my first New Faces that I ever did as a guest spot. I've hosted the one in Miami one time before, but do I feel proud of that? Do I feel proud that I've never done a New Faces? Which is, for those of you who don't know, is you sign up for it, but you have to bring 5 people of your friends. And it's usually just hobbyists, like I mentioned before. So it's easy work. And a lot of times not funny. Because they're new. I have a whole show about it. But I don't know. I guess I'm proud of it. I don't know. My first improv was a book show. I was booked. So, I don't know. I feel weird when people do comedy as a dream. I'm going to be honest with you. Half of the people, especially people I know or seen around for a long time, do comedy as a therapy, which is not entirely better. It's really not. But I just feel weird when people do this. Like, this is their dream, to get up in front of people and have them like you for making them laugh, or, you know, because you think you're funny and your friends tell you you're funny in a group or whatever the fuck, you know. Oh my God, you're so funny. You should be a comedian. In front of the group. That's mainly the people in New Faces. When their friends are like, you're so funny. You know, if you were on stage, you'd fucking be the next Kevin Hart. You'd be the next Amy Schumer. And then they're like, really? Wow, I was just telling you a story about my cat and the dumb shit that my cat does, but I guess you're right. I think I see it. Yeah, I could be Amy Schumer, yeah. And then fucking 3 months later, hey, remember when you said I should be a comedian? I'm going to be doing a New Faces. Come through. It's a 2-drink minimum. You're probably going to spend at least $50 per person. I need you there, please. I'm here because you told me I should do it. And then the person's like, oh, fuck. I said that when I was drunk, man. I didn't think you'd do it. And then some other people are just like... Some other people go like, hey, come on, man. I helped you move that one time. Remember? Come on. Come to my New Faces. And then just like, fuck, dude. Guy helps you move one time. Now you got to go watch his shitty comedy. But anyways, I just never saw it as a dream for me. Never. I mean, I started relatively late at 31-ish, right? Which is not late, like in life terms, but... a lot of these people, not a lot, but yeah. Majority of people get into it in mid-20s maybe. The ones who know what they want to do with it get into it in the late teens. I don't know. There's really no wrong time to get into it. It only starts becoming wrong when you start seeing if you're good or not by year 2 or 3. So you could be 70 years old, but if by 73 you're not getting laughs consistently, you know, I don't know, go raise a pigeon coop or some shit. Go do another hobby. If this is your hobby, fine, but it's like you got to work with the rest of us and wait in line on open mics and wait till fucking 12 in the morning, midnight. Like, it doesn't seem ideal. But even if you do this as a therapy thing, year 3 should be the mark where you're like, all right, well, I should start. You know, I'm pretty good now. I should start thinking about this as dream type of business sense. You know, I should start thinking about the business aspect of it, start getting paid or start branding yourself, right? Only if you're good, because there's some people that have still doing it for therapy. 5 years later, still can't even get a fucking good laugh or a good pop or show at the Improv or, you know, booked anywhere relevant, you know. There's some people like that. And if it works for them, therapy, if that's all they want to do for the rest of their whatever time in the game, fine, you know. But I can't do that. Once I saw that I was like pretty legit, I had to monetize this any way I could. And I'm still kind of slow at it, mainly because obviously it's not my main moneymaker yet. But I'm still trying, you know. It's you have to do it. It can't just be therapy. And it's pretty fun chasing the dream now, you know. I've actually found it kind of fun. If you haven't found a passion or a dream that's fun to you to do and that you're actually pretty good at, man, I suggest you just keep looking, because once you do find it, it's like becomes like an OCD and you have to do it. And it really shuts up and quiets your inner demons, right? That we all have, right? Some more than others, some stronger than others. I thank God that one of my ways to quiet my inner demons is making money. I'm just lucky, I guess, right? Why am I saying right a lot? like you're like, yeah. Like you're watching this like, yeah, right, dude, right. You're fucking right. Yeah. Anyways, that was my week. Weekend's going pretty slow. I got some things coming up that I just don't want to be out and about. And there's not that many shows on the weekends anymore either that I could just pull up on. So just chilling, Probably hit the beach tomorrow. Got a few shows coming up. I'll mention that later. And yeah, man, I always consider myself a student of comedy. And not in the way that I just listen to Joe Rogan, right? Because that's not at all what I mean or the definition of student of comedy. That's obviously Rogan is cool. As a comedian, I love his stand-up more than his podcast. But yeah, he obviously is his whole comedy career is a lesson in itself for sure. He's a hard worker. He's funny on stage. He does the work, and he made it, man. He made it against all odds, and despite people trying to shit on him and blackball him. That's a true triumph story. I feel like I'm on that fucking trajectory right now. That's how much I do love Joe Rogan. But I mean student of comedy in the way of like the old heads, like the black and white shit, bro. Like I was watching during work. I was watching these Milton Berle. You know what I'm saying? Well, you hear about these guys, or you see them on Johnny Carson, right? We all know Johnny Carson, the original Tonight Show host, or not the original, but the second one, I guess. I guess the show's been around since fucking dinosaur age. But all those guys were real deal, man. All those guys were Johnny Carson. I started watching some of his shows with these people. Bob Hope. Milton Berle was like the first one. Milton Berle was like the first comedy variety show on television. Back in 1920, whatever the fuck. 3, 4. Back when they used to call television, like TV, television set projector. They said all of that, right? Yeah, does anyone have a television set projector of 24 inches by 12 inches? And with the antenna and the TV, you have to go like this and create static electricity to change the channel with the fucking antenna. He had the first variety comedy show, and he was the first comedy star ever, like on TV. You know, before that, it was like Charlie Chaplin, which Milton Berle was a kid in a Charlie Chaplin movie back in 1914. That's how old this guy is. This guy has been working for NBC for 85 years. He signed a lifetime contract. He was so good. When people turned on the television set from in the 1920s, 85% of the ratings was his variety show. That's how good this guy was. And then I started watching some of it, and it's good. It's funny. It's physical. It's animated. There's thoughts. He was doing skits that we're all doing now, dumb as fuck on a iPhone. He was doing that on the show. A lot of the shit that I see on skits sometimes is amazing, man. It's amazing when you look at the path of comedy, like the history of it. So you see Milton Berle, then is Bob Hope. Bob Hope was funny as shit, dude. I saw some shit with Milton Berle and Bob Hope. This guy didn't stop working, by the way, and he owned a piece of the football team. I think the Rams or some shit. Back when in the 50s, when football was just like whatever, before black people, obviously. Before black people, everything was just whatever, right? But anyways, he owned a piece of the team. This guy did not stop working, Bob Hope. They were all friends with Sinatra, you know, those guys. There'll never be people like that again. They all had chemistry when they were together, and they hung out at the cigar lounge after the show in Vegas, in a Vegas hotel or some shit. Talking about broads and shit. You see? And drinking old fashions and shit, you know? Like, there'll never be guys like this again. So I had to see what the hype was about. You could learn something in that. If you're a student of comedy, I'm not saying to do it. I remember as a kid, anytime something was black and white as a kid, I would just go bloop. If I'm changing the channel, and I'm looking for cartoons or some shit, I might watch. I used to watch Happy Days. Happy Days was funny. Nick and Night, all that shit in Nick and Night, because they had color. I Dream of Jeannie, shit like that. Only because it had color, and I thought the people, it was easy to watch. But anytime something that was black and white, no, next, some of that man, a lot of that shit was good, and I could see why those guys were colossal talents. The Copacabana. I mean, even that, there was a club that was in, I don't know, Miami Beach or some shit. If you was a real comic, you go do that fucking show in a suit and tie. You're not going to go up in a goddamn plaid t-shirt and a flannel with some Vans. I mean, maybe today they would, but probably not. That's probably why they went bankrupt, because they were like, man, you know what? People are doing goddamn comedy shows in a black tee and jeans. Let's just go out of business. We have a reputation to maintain. Remember the Copacabana in Goodfellas? It should look like a dope club, bro. Should look like a really dope club. But man, what a time! What a time to be alive during those 50s and 60s. If you're a good comedian, stand-up person, or whatever the fuck. Dean Martin had Jerry Lewis open up for him. Jerry Lewis is another colossal old school talent icon. So he hosted the show, which kind of is similar to how Metallica used to do it. Metallica used to have Jim Florentine, who I had on my podcast one time. Hey, name drop much? Okay. Jim Florentine, funny as shit. One of those Howard Stern comedians that used to like pull up. Yeah, Jim Florentine used to open for Metallica. Just get the crowd riled up, drink with them, and just chill while the band plays. Jerry Lewis, same thing with Dean Martin. Just having a great old time. The Copacabana, just hanging out, chilling. Man, in suits, 3-piece suits, just being stand-up G's, bro. So I just binged it, man. I was binging shit. Obviously, I would have liked to see a little more color. That's another thing I'm big about. Sorry. Colors. Besides Sammy Davis Jr., he was just a super genius. He played instruments, he sang, he did comedy with one eye this whole time. And an overbite. Broads ain't shit, you see. This motherfucker played drums and shit. It was incredible talent. He was probably the most talented one out of the Rat Pack, but just black. So when you have color back in those days, you had to really be a anomaly of talent. You couldn't just be good. You had to be great. And obviously that part I'm really big about. But whatever, it's 2022. I don't live in those times. I have a better shot. Not saying fair. It's still not all the way fair. But for the most part, it's not easy for everyone. And you know what? If I got to train and work to the level of anomaly of talent, you're only doing me the favor by making it harder for me. Because I'm going to do that. For God's sakes, I'm watching black and white film like I'm in a goddamn AP class in University of Comedy over here. Clown College. There's a clown college in Miami. It's called Miami. No, there's a real comedy, a real clown college in Alapata. I wanted to do a skit in front of it one day. But anyways, I can't stop. It's an OCD for me to do stand-up specifically. And the other dumb shit as far as skits and clout and content, influencer, I do it. I found a way to keep it consistent, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it. But It's necessary, and I've stacked up a cool little resume of things. So whatever, man. Go check out Bob Hope, Milton Berle, all those Johnny Carson shows. With the one with Robin Williams cracked me up. Johnny Carson, when Robin Williams showed up, it was always like, like just sit back and just enjoy Robin Williams. He doesn't even need to talk. He was so animated on that show, man. I miss Robin Williams, bro. Mm-hmm. I always think like if I was a movie star, right? I think two things if I was a movie star. Number one, I wouldn't be the leading guy. I already have a face where people hate me. I already have a face, like I really try to look like this when I meet people and when I'm around people like this, like, what's up, guys? Hey. And they still think like, wow, this fucking guy, he looks like an asshole. So that taught me, and this is my whole life. And what they don't know is that this is a guard to the inner demons that I mentioned before that have nothing to do with anyone. It's just me, right? Yourself, your own battle to not be depressed, to keep your anxiety in check, and to overall try to enjoy life, this experience that we live in, because we are kind of lucky to be living in a fucking first world country at the very least. Or for now, right? But that taught me one thing as far as if I was a movie star. I got to be the bad guy. Because people would love to hate me. Because they don't know that I like it when they don't like me for no reason at all, like in life. I'm like, all right, well, cool. Yeah, another person I don't have to court, because when I'm a good person to someone, I'm like, sometimes I'm like too good. I go out of my way, I'm eager to please, not in a corny way, but like, if I see that you're a good person, I'm kind of a good judge of character, and I don't have tons of friends, but those people that I do, I always want to help any way that I can with my resources, my talents, my equipment, my studio, whatever it is yours. Do I expect anything in return? Oh, no, just the same respect or whatever you could do for me, I guess. I don't have anything specific, but whatever you think, just keep me in mind. I know we're all humans and selfish in a way, but if you see a show or something or anything, it could be the smallest thing. Oh, you know what? I think Dean would like this fucking mug that says assholes live forever. I think he would like that. It reminds me of him, so I'm gonna get it. It's only $15. You give that to me, oh my God! You just want a whole other round of goodness out of my own heart to you. Mind you, I don't respect it because 80% of the time it's never really reciprocated, and then I just forget about it. It doesn't matter, whatever. I just did all that because it's easy for me. But people really don't like me from first impression for whatever reason, for what I mentioned before, but that tells me that I would be a good bad guy in a movie. I only want to do bad guy roles. I only want to do roles where people have to hate me, because already from the first scene that I do, it could be like one of those Quentin Tarantino movies where it starts at the end and you don't even know who's the bad guy yet, and it's just me. I'm just like eating a pudding or some shit. And people already be like, oh, this fucking guy sucks. I hate this guy. And I'm not doing nothing. No lines or nothing. And then later on, when they reveal that I am the bad guy, they're going to be like, I fucking knew it was this guy. He's fucking, look at him. He looks like an asshole. I hate him, man. And then they hate me. And then after the movie, and they like the movie, they'll be like, damn, that guy who played the bad guy was really fucking good. He really made me hate him, man. I want to do that all day. I never want to be the fucking leading man who pretends to be fucking good, or a ladies man. That's disgusting to me. Come on. Not disgusting to me. It's disgusting for me when I think of that role for me. Don't ever make me that dude. Don't ever make me that fucking guy. I just want to be the bad guy. I've been to a few auditions already where they're like, smile, and I'm like, they're like, smile for us, please smile, and I'm like, I am smiling, and they're like, okay, thank you for coming. We'll keep you in mind. You only catch me smiling if I'm actually laughing at something, which I actually like to laugh. But to smile the way I laugh is very hard. I don't know why. It just always comes out crazy. It always, I don't know, whatever. And the second thing about being a movie star, to wrap it up, is that I always think about like an acceptance speech for an award. Am I the only one who does that? Am I the only one who's ever fantasized about winning an award and what I'd say? Because we all know the original one is like, oh, I like to thank God, my parents, and the producers for believing in me, blah, 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 blah. Bro, I want to have a really, really cool acceptance speech for whatever. Now accepting the award for biggest asshole goes to Dean Gonzalez. I don't care what it is. As long as it's like one of those Golden Globes or Oscar, whatever it is. I'm going to go up and I have several versions. One of them, the serious version. But I do have one where I'm just going to like do a bit. I'm going to fucking do it. Of course I'm going to do a bit. Of course I'm going to be like, let me just grab my speech. All right, so normally people start off with thank you, but I'm not. I'm going to start off with go fuck yourselves for the people who didn't believe in me, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have it written down, but I always, like, man, my shit better be different. I'm going to be, who had a good one? Matthew McConaughey. He had a good one, right? Where he inspired, all right. Be your own hero. My dad said, "Be your own hero." I'm my own hero 10 years from now, and the person I look up to is me 10 years ago. Before, like that was such a fucking good one. I wonder if he had help writing that. Listen, there's not many cool, like real swaggy white guys, right? Ever since the Sinatra days, which Sinatra was Italian, so that doesn't count. I'm talking about like real white guys, like swag the fuck out. But Matthew McConaughey could have been a pimp in his past life. Matthew McConaughey is one of the swaggiest white boys I've ever, who's ever existed. Where's he from? New Orleans or some shit? Man, what a fucking swaggy motherfucker, bro. Him and who's pretty cool too. And I never liked Ben Affleck, like his movies. Him fine, whatever, and he's done a lot of good. But he wasn't my favorite. Like all his movies were just okay, except for that Runaway Girl, the one about him killing his wife. That one was a good one. It was just a good story. It was good. But I don't like him in Batman. I don't think he, should have done it. I get why he did. But, bro, this fucking guy speaks better Spanish than me. Like, now I see why J-Lo likes fucking him, I guess, right? I wonder if he, fucks her and, ay, I see, mommy, I see. This guy speaks fluent Spanish. I see, mommy. Yeah. I see, cada. He said some shit like he was talking about food, and he mentioned, they asked him what's his favorite Spanish food, and he mentioned how he loves Cuban food, which of course, another plus point for you, my brother. Cuban food is my favorite Spanish food too. Not even being biased. He mentioned that he loves Cuban food, so they asked him, and he was like, sí, comida cubana, pero cada país tiene, you don't say cada, it's cada. You say it, he said it really weird. I don't know who taught him Spanish, but I think Guillermo from the Jimmy Kimmel Show taught him Spanish, probably, right? Because it's very Mexican oriented, which he lives in LA, so that makes sense. But I'm sure J-Lo's like kind of teaching him a couple things. I hope, I guess. I don't know. But he's another one. He makes my top 5 swaggy white boys list just for learning Spanish, because in Boston, if you know anything about Boston, they don't even really like speaking English properly well, right? So for any one of those guys to like break out the box of how they were raised, where they came from, and learn Spanish or date a black person, you win. You're cool as shit to me. You get it. You get it. Who wouldn't want to, like, what? That's a big flex to know. I wish I knew 4 languages. I only know 3: English, Spanish, and sarcasm, which that's cool. But man, I wish I knew fucking French. Could you imagine how cool it is, or it would be, to just pull out French whenever you want, when people don't even expect it? Man. Avez-vous la flemme, madame? Buongiorno. Avez-vous la flemme? I would love that, bro. The more languages you know, the better. So, and I don't know who else to top off the top 3. Let's do a top 3 of Swaggies white boys. Man, you know what? I don't want to go throwback like Chuck Norris. I mean, because obviously Chuck Norris is the shit, right? Yeah, of course he is. But I guess it's a toss-up of, I wouldn't say Brad Pitt, because he's just good looking. That's not really swag. George Clooney, though. George Clooney. Yeah, I would say George Clooney has that inspiration of, he listens to Frank Sinatra type of shit, you know? But is he white? He always looks like kind of olive skin to me. I don't know. Is he white? I don't even know. Anyways, I'm going to come up with a cool acceptance speech. I think the guy who proposed to his wife when he won the Oscar was cool, and nobody even knew who that guy was, and it was such a throwaway award, like, category. Like, it was like sound engineer, best sound engineer for a fucking movie no one watched from overseas is Johnny Who Gives a Fuck. And then the guy came up and then like proposed to his wife on stage, and she came up. Like, that was cool, but I think it was wasted on a Who Gives a Shit guy. They better last forever. You fuck. That was a good one. Anyways. So anyways, I got a few shows coming up. Let me see. I got the Improv at Miami on September 14th, a Ridiculous Nick show. I have Gringo Grant's show coming up. It's still a couple weeks away, but he's already promoting it now. It's so far away that it might as well be next year. And he's like promoting it now. It's so funny. But he's funny as shit. He killed at the SLS, like I mentioned before. And catch me always at, I think, Hotel Greystone on Tuesday in South Beach. That place is a vibe. It's a nice little swanky jazz vibe. It was good. I did good. I was talking about my birthday week, and she was good. But I'm usually at Dom's in Brickell on Tuesdays, working my shit out, working some stuff out, vibing with the people, eating some wings. Their food is great. They're in Bay Club in South Beach. But Dom's in Brickell on Tuesday, and Thursday I'm gonna do something else. Oh, Thursday I like this Nomi place in North Miami, Black Room, Jazz Black Room. Love it, love it, love it, love it. It's not that far from where I live. It's like my 4th time doing it. I always get an envelope like I'm fucking Tony Soprano with my pay, and a letter thanking me for performing there. And the food is actually pretty good. But yeah, check those places out Thursdays. Follow me at Latino_Tarantino 2X. I might change it soon, but not yet. DeanFunny.com and Outcrowd Studios. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Whoever's watching, I see a few of you. I see some views. So whoever you are, just leave a comment, like, subscribe, share, hit me up. If you got an opinion about anything I say, or anything, a comment, just either leave it there or DM me. I always like insight, I ask for it. I'm one of the few people who ask for insight, constructive criticism. Don't just come up to me, hey, your fucking podcast sucks. You should do this a little more. Like, don't do that to me. Be constructive, right? But let me know. I have tough skin. You already know that. Thanks for listening. Peace out.